Hi everyone, it's Ollie here from New Wave. I hope you're all doing well on this Friday and welcome to Music Lessons Live. As I always say, you'll be able to find these videos on our YouTube links because I will post them up afterwards, and you'll be able to find them here on the Facebook page. To those schools who've asked as well, I'll be sending these over to your online resources as well. So this week we've been doing obviously by McFly on the guitar, and in today's session we're going to finish off the song and we're going to have a little play along as well. I've got the track. I did have a little discussion about trying to sing it, but the range on this is just way too high for me. So I've got my Alexa 21st century material. No, not now, not now. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to use my speaker and we're going to play along with it, and we're going to have a play along right at the end. So in Monday's session, we had a little look at the intro and verse 1. In Wednesday's session we did the chorus and the final line in verse 1 as well, because the chords in that and the timing changes slightly. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at the bridge section. And we're also going to be going through the layout of the song as well, because as I mentioned on Wednesday's session, there's lots and lots of repetition. If you're only joining in today and you haven't had a chance to have a little look at those previous lessons, what I suggest is after this session, go back, have a little look at Monday's lesson and Wednesday's lesson, see what we got up to there, so you'll be able to catch up and practice along at home. As I said, if you miss anything, please don't worry. All these videos will be going up onto our YouTube channel as well. Right, let's get into it. So today we're going to do the bridge section. And the bridge section sounds something like this. And that is it. That is the bridge section. So for any of you who don't have the music at home, I'm just going to quickly comment in the tab on the comments now, so you'll be able to follow along. If you can't open it for whatever reason, just have a pencil and a piece of paper ready at hand to make some notes, to jot some of the chord charts down, and to jot some of the different rhythms that you need to put in as well. Best to have a pencil as well, not a pen, sorry, because if you make any mistakes, it's going to be far easier to rub it out with a pencil than having to cross out with a pen, and you'll be going through loads and loads of paper. I've made that mistake before, so pencil and rubber is definitely the way to go when doing music. Right, so the chords for today. I've got my guitar here. Make sure you're holding your guitar in the correct position. Make sure, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, that your groove here, okay, is sat nicely and stable on your leg. Okay, make sure the neck is facing slightly upwards at about a 30-degree angle, or just so it's kind of going up that way. If you're playing left-handed, sorry, everything I say with my left hand, of course, will be with your right hand. For those of us who are playing along right-handed, this should be nice and easy. The chords I've put in as well are for ukulele as well. So if you don't have a guitar and you're playing along with a different instrument, you can follow along there as well, with if you've got a ukulele, for example. This here is my capo. Okay, as I mentioned in previous videos, this changes the key of our guitar when we are playing. If you don't have a capo at home, don't worry, you can still play along. I've still put the chords that you can use to play along at home, but just make sure that when we do play along with the track at the end, it's going to sound a little bit different. It's going to sound it'll sound out of tune, but the reason is because it is in a different key. So if you're playing along and you're going, well, this doesn't sound right, am I playing the right chords? You are, don't worry, you just needed to have this capo. So yeah, I seriously recommend any guitarists to get a capo. These are really, really useful tools to have. Right, let's get into it. So, as I always say, I'm going to go through the chords first. I'll always recap the chords and the positions of those chords as well. Then I'll go through the strumming pattern. We'll have a play along of this section. Then I'm going to tell you the layout of the music. And then we're going to have a go at playing along. So the first chord for us today is F major. Okay, so F major. We've got our strings here. If you haven't already, go back and have a look at my previous videos where we go through the different parts of the guitar and what they're all called as well. If not, you can always pause and rewind as I go along, just to give yourself a moment to see where we're at and then carry on. So, F major. What we do is we take our third finger or our ring finger on our left hand. We place it on the 3rd fret of D. Okay. Then we take our middle finger or our second finger and we place it on the 2nd fret of G. And then with our first finger, what we're doing is we're doing what we call a bar. So we're placing our first finger not across one string but 2 strings. Okay, and we're using kind of this part of our finger here to do that. So where it comes up to your first joint here, okay, this is the kind of the part of the finger that you need to be using, and we're going to press down on the 1st fret of B and E as well, and we should get F. Okay. Now there are 2 ways of playing F. There's this way, where you play all the strings. And there's this way as well. I'm going to show you this version for today, okay? Just because it's a little bit more of an easier version for you to play along to at home. Again, we're only playing D, G, B, and E strings. We're not playing E and A, because when we play, if we play that, it doesn't sound quite right. Okay, so it's really important we're just playing those 4 strings there. Okay, I know I'm saying 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and I have got my capo on. Don't worry, is when we've got a capo on, is we usually adjust for that, and I think it will be easier for me to say that at home for anyone who isn't playing with a capo. So if I do say 1st fret or 2nd fret, and you have got a capo, 1st fret, 2nd fret, just for today, just to make it a little bit easier for everyone to follow along to at home. Right, F chord done. We then move on to C major. So C major is we take our 3rd finger and we place it on the 3rd fret of the A string. We take our 2nd finger, we place it on the 2nd fret of the D string here. And then we take our index finger, our 1st finger, and we place it on the 1st fret of the B string. That is C major. So when we play C major, again, we're only starting from the A string here. That is what we're playing. So that is C major. Okay. You'll probably notice when I'm playing with what we call a plectrum. Okay, plectrum, it's a pointy, so like a triangle piece of plastic. Mine's not quite as a triangle now because I've been playing with this one for years now, and it's slowly filed itself away, but it still sounds really, really good. So the plectrum is a tool that we use to help us strum our strings. If you don't have one at home, okay, and you're playing a guitar with metal strings, it might be an idea to get one, because unfortunately metal strings are a lot stronger than your thumb, and over time it's going to really start to hurt your thumb. So if you've got metal strings, it might be a good idea to get a little plectrum. If you don't have metal strings, do not get a plectrum. The reason is because the plastic strings and the horsehair wound strings are a lot softer, and a plectrum over time will start to destroy.
I don't know that.
Destroy the strings. Sorry, Alexa's going off on one again. Not until the end. Right. So make sure if you've got steel strings, you're using a plectrum. Right. We've had F. We've had C. We go to A minor next. So A minor is we take our 2nd finger, we place it on the 2nd fret of the D string here. We take our 3rd finger and we're going to tuck it underneath on the G string on the 2nd fret again. And then we take our 1st finger and we place it on the 1st fret of the B string. And we're starting from A, and we play all those strings, so that is A minor. Again, when you're playing this, make sure you're really tucking in those fingers. Again, when you're practicing at home, really take it slow. Ask yourself all the time, can I hear all those notes nice and clearly? If not, readjust your hand, move it around a little, make sure you're pressing down really hard, doing that what we call crab claw technique. So making sure your thumb is at the back of the neck here, and you're playing right on the tips of your fingers as well, okay? Because that is going to be the best way to get that nice, clear A minor sound. Okay, so it's all about making those little micro adjustments, moving your hand around, and asking yourself over and over again, can I hear those notes nice and clearly when I play? So there you go, that's A minor. So we've got F, C, A minor, then we go to D major. Okay, so D major is we take our first finger, we place it on the second fret of the G string here. We take our second finger, or our middle finger, we place it on the second fret of E, so the high E string here. Then we take our third finger, we place it on the third fret of the B string here. And again, when we're playing D major, we're starting from D, our D string here. All we do is we play those strings. Okay. Now, I know some people have been saying that they really struggle to do the up-down strumming when you've just got to play those 4 strings, because sometimes they'll catch these lower ones. And what I'd suggest doing is playing really slowly when you're practicing, and really focusing on when your hand is striking the strings, really aiming for that D string if you're starting here. If you're catching E and A, don't worry too much, because sometimes you can get away with it. Okay, if you really catch it, then obviously you're going to have to practice a bit more to try and stop that from happening. But if you catch it now and again, don't worry too much. I mean, I've been playing for a while now, so I've gotten pretty good at just catching those 4 strings. But again, take your time. There's absolutely no rush when you're practicing. The slower, the better at the start, and then over time, as you get more confident, you can build up that speed. Brilliant. So we've got, let's just quickly recap what we've got so far. So we've got F, we've got C, we've got A minor, we've got D, then we go to F minor. So if you tuned in on Wednesday, you'll know that F minor is what we do is we create that F major chord shape. So third finger on the third fret of D, second finger on the second fret of G, and then barring down on B and E. For F minor, we need to bar down with our first finger on G, B, and E on the first fret. We move away our second finger and keep our third finger there. And that is F minor. Okay, so change from that F major shape to F minor. Brilliant. And again, for that bar to work, you really need to press down. You will get some indentations on your finger, okay, some pressure lines. That's normal, okay, and over time those pressure lines, they won't go, but you'll just get used to them when you play, because they can hurt a little at the start, but that's always a good sign to show that you're pressing down nice and hard and you're making that really good shape and connection with the strings as well. After that, we go back to C major again. So we've had D major, F minor, F minor, and then C major. After that, we go to G major. So for G major, we take our second finger, we place it on the third fret, of the low E string. We take our first finger and we place it on the second fret of the A string. And and then we take our third finger, our ring finger, and we're going to stretch all the way over to the high E string on the 3rd fret. And that is G major. We play all the strings for that. Okay. And after that, we go back to C major. Now, on the tab that I've put in the comments, it says that we have to play C major again on the 4th line. What I want you to do is I want you to cross that out because that is not correct. Okay? So what you do is you go from G. So if you've got a pencil, now's the time to write this in. So you go to G and then you go to C. And instead of going to that next C chord, cross that out, you go to F. Then you go to C. Then you go to G. And then F. And then C again. Okay? So for all the chords in this bridge section, you'll notice again at the very start there is a C chord there. Okay? Again, cross that out. I believe it's a C chord or a G chord. Cross that out because you do not need to play that. Okay, I'll just double check now for you. Sorry, it's an E chord. Do not play that E chord at the start of the bridge. Okay, you do not need to play it. So all you need to do is you need to play F to C to A minor to D to F minor to C. Then we go to G major, C again, F again, C major, G major, F, and then C. And that is the bridge section. So if you want to pause me, have a little practice of that, just so you can get those changes a little bit better. I'm going to go over the rhythm now. So the rhythm is much like the rhythm in the chorus and the verse as well. And it sounds something like this. I'll play it up here as well. So, the strumming pattern. I'm going to show you 2 strumming patterns today. One is a simpler one. So for those of us who are finding the more complicated one a little bit too difficult, is you can play along with that one. The other one is a more complicated version, the version that they use in the song. So, I'll go over the easier one first, and then we'll go over the more difficult one. The easier one sounds something like this. So the counting that we're going to do is 4/4. Our time signature is 4/4. So we count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we count that throughout the whole song. And what we can do as well, is the rhythm is swung as well. So I'm not counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, just like that. Okay? Right, so simple version, we're strumming. So each chord is worth 4 beats, it's 4 beats long, and we strum on beats 1 and 3. So it goes, for example, with F, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that is the first part of the rhythm. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we change to C, 1 and 2 and this is where it changes. We go 3 and 4. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the timing changes there as well. Okay, it's what we call playing in triplets. Okay, 1 2 3. So it goes 1 and 2 and 1 2 3. So that's how we count that little bit there before they go into the A minor chord. If you think that's a little bit too difficult for you, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and just play on beats 1 and 3. Keep it nice and simple. And we do that for pretty much every chord in the bridge until we get to that final C chord, where we just play on beat 1. We go 1, and that's it. So each chord you play on beats 1 and 3. They're 4 beats long, and you just have to strum down. So that's that simple version if you want to play along with that. More complicated version is we play down, down, up, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're going down, down, up, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So those are the beats that you need to play on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you play on beats 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Best thing to do when you're doing this more complicated strumming pattern, as I've said in previous videos, keep your hand moving all the time. If you're doing this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, if it feels like you're robotically moving your hand up and down, it's not going to work, because you're not going to get that natural feel and natural strumming pattern. So the best thing to do at home, a really good exercise that I like to do as well when I'm playing, is just to strum up and down and start counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then take out certain beats. So I'm going to take out 2 ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 that is a great way of practicing when you need to be striking the strings and when you don't need to be, whilst keeping that hand movement going. And over time, the more complicated you create that, the more complex you make your rhythm, the easier it's going to be when you play something like this at home. So again, I'm just going to go over that more complicated rhythm. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the strumming pattern. And that's the strumming pattern for all the chords, bar that final C where we just play on beat 1. And for that second C, so after we've played F, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, where we go into that triplet rhythm before we go into A minor. And you'll really feel it as well when we listen to the music. You'll really feel that change. Okay? Right, let's try going through the bridge together without the music, without Alexa, who keeps interrupting. Oh, she's gone quiet now. And then I'm going to show you the next chorus, because that's slightly different as well. And then we'll go through the layout and then we'll play it together. Okay? So let's try the bridge now. Starting on the F chord. I'm going to play that more complicated version. For those of you at home who don't want to do that, you just play that simple version, that simple strumming pattern, playing on beats 1 and 3. Okay, I'll do my 4-beat counting before we start, so we've got a bit of a head start with our timing, and then we'll go for it. Okay, here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 to C. 1. Triplets now. 1, 2, 3. A minor. 2 and 3. To D major. 2 and 3. F minor. 2 and 3. To C. 2 and 3. To G. C again, 2 and 3, to F, 2 and 3, to C, 2 and 3, to G, 2 and 3, and to F, 2 and 3, and stop. So you're stopping on C, you're stopping on beat 1 there. Okay, well done at home if you're able to play along then. I know I went through a lot of that pretty quickly. Again, if you want to, pause, rewind me, have a little practice, and then have a little play again along with me. Right, the chorus after this bridge, we don't actually play a lot, okay? The drums on the track are doing a lot of the work. So for the first and second line on the chorus after the bridge, we do not play anything, okay? It is not until we get to F major, where it says never will be good enough for her, we play F to G, and And then what I want you to do again is cross out that C at the end, because what we do is we go straight into the next chorus. And then we've got one more chorus at the end, and that's it. Okay. The second chorus, after the one where we don't play much, again, that final C on her, so on the third line on her, cross that out as well. We don't need to play that along with the track. Right, I'm going to go through the entire song now, so if you need a pencil and a rubber, or you've got the tab open, I'm going to go through every section now, and then we're going to play along with the track. So first of all, we've got the verse 1. Okay, so it's that C to C add 9. And that C to C add 9, we play that 4 times before we go into the verse as well as an intro. So we're playing C to C add 9 4 times as the intro, and then we go into the verse. Then we've got that final line where we go to F and C, to D minor, to G. Then we go into the chorus. So we've got our first chorus there. Then we've got a verse 2. Then we go into the chorus again. After the chorus, we go into that bridge that we've done today. We go into that next chorus where we don't play anything for the first 2 lines, but play the very last line for F and G. Then we've got another little chorusy section, and then we've got one more chorus at the end, and at the end as well, where we play F, F minor and C on that very final chorus. You only strum once on beat 1. So it goes. That's it. Okay. Right, hopefully you got all that down. If you didn't, again, I'll just say one more time. Intro, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, and then 3 choruses at the end. Right, the moment of truth. We're going to play all the way through now. We're going to play with the track as well. So for those of you at home who don't have an instrument and want to have a little sing-along, you can get that opportunity. Like I said, this is a bit too high range for me. I can't quite get to all the notes. So best thing to do, play along with the track. It's going to be quicker. It's going to be a little bit quicker. So if you want to, pause me now, have a bit of time to practice, go over this, and then when you feel confident, you can play along at home with the track. Again, I've got my capo on. If you don't have a capo, what we're about to play now might sound a little bit not quite right, might sound out of tune, but it's just in a different key. Okay, I think online you will be able to find some versions where you can play along with it in a different key. But for today, we're just going to play along with the track. Right, let's give it a go. I'm going to ask Alexa to play the song in a moment. She was shining on me then. To play the song, it's going to come in straight away. So be ready on C major. Okay, fingers crossed this will work. Alexa, play Obviously by McFly.
Obviously by McFly from Spotify.
Okay, here we go. C to C add 9. Verse 1. G major, F, C major. Here we go. G major, F major, F major again, to C, strumming on beats 1 and 2, D minor, G major, chorus now, E major, G, to E major, major, F to C major, F, strumming on beats 1 and 2, D minor, C major, E major, F, D, F to G, C and an E major, F, E major. Right, we're coming up to the bridge now. F, C, triplets, D, F minor, to C, to G, to C, F chord, to C, G, F, to C, stop. Let the drummers do the job. Okay, get ready to play F major. Here we go, 2, 3, 4, F, G, chorus. F, D, F, G, one more chorus. F, D, F, G, C, E major, one strum now, and then C. Well done if you're able to play at home then. Really good effort. That was really quick. And as well, it wasn't quite easy with those chord changes as well. So fantastic if you're able to play along at home, and really well done. And I'm really happy for my Alexa not stopping halfway through or anything as well. Technology, eh? Brilliant. Really well done, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this session, and I hope now you'll be able to play, obviously, by McFly on the guitar. As always, these are going to stay up on our Facebook page. They'll also be going up onto our YouTube channel as well. You'll be able to catch me next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 AM. We're going to be learning a new song. We're going to be doing it on a different instrument as well. So remember to like, comment, subscribe and share. I hope you all have a lovely weekend, and I will catch you all on Monday for our music lessons live here on the New Wave Arts Facebook page. Catch you all soon, guys.